Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe where we help and heal with daily videos. We're going to talk about exposing our narcissist. What will happen if we do that? Should we do it? Why we're doing it? Often we go through these smear campaigns, and a lot of times some of us want to get back at the person. It's important to think why you want to get back. Is it for closure? Is it to hurt the person? Stay true to yourself. If you're a vindictive person, that's up to you. But if you're a kind-hearted person, really look at the outcome. That's the main thing. Is it worth exposing the narcissist? And I'll tell you what, I went through a custody battle and my ex really smeared me. I'm pretty much your goody two shoes for the most part, not perfect, but overall in society, goody two shoes. And I had 59 police reports against me. 59. None of them involved violence, drugs, or alcohol. And talking about liars, made up everything. My degree's in criminal justice, so he knew he'd hold me back from having a job because I couldn't carry a weapon because I had pending court cases. He didn't have to pay for it. It was always the state versus me. So he had told my parents that he would destroy them and me financially. So they have some motives on these smear campaigns. So the reason we want to expose it is kind of important. My reason was basically to defend myself. Sometimes we want to defend ourselves. My attorney would not allow me to say anything bad about him. He's a good person in a lot of ways, but also terrible. So I just wanted to defend myself. So basically it was, he was good and bad, and then I could only say good things about him. I needed to defend myself in this case. My attorney wouldn't let me. They're like, it's all he said, she said stuff. So sometimes we have to expose them. It was a terrible court case. I couldn't defend anything. So as far as when you want to expose the person, think about your reasoning. It would have changed how my custody stuff went. It was not me being vindictive. It was me standing up for myself. Worst attorney ever, but my parents paid for it. So I was kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. If it's to get back at the person, they'll come back at you 100 times harder. So you might say a couple things, but remember they're liars. So you're just trying to say they did this, they did that. They'll bring out what you did plus 100 times worse. So you're basically just going to destroy your life or make things worse. A lot of times, just how we adored them in the beginning. A lot of times on the outside, they seem like this person on the up and up. People have faith in them and confidence in them. They've love bomb their friends to where they seem like these great people. So when you try to say something, unless it's somebody who has been in the situation with a narcissist, they won't understand. They'll think you're the crazy one. Like, of course, why did you stay with this person if they did this stuff? Why did you tolerate it? Why didn't you stand up for yourself? And they're not going to have empathy towards us. And we've been so starved for empathy that unless somebody can relate to it or understand it, we're wasting our breath. And on top of it, we're feeding the fuel for the narcissist. So they're getting an ego stroke that we're still talking about them. We're still distraught, caught up in them, and defending ourselves. They're going to continue with the smear campaign. They're going to one up us. And so if your reasoning is to defend yourself, people aren't really, for one thing, they're not really going to care because it's our lives we're concerned about. And of course, our friends are kind of, they do care about us, but not at the right depth, because if they haven't been through it, we're just blowing smoke. We're just saying things that they can't relate to. Just like in our narcissistic relationships, we were blowing smoke. Let's work through this. This is what I feel, on and on and on. So unless they can relate to it, it's really not going to matter. So if you want to hurt your narcissist, think about why. Do they deserve it? Like, I don't know, if they raped your child or something, there's certain things, but if it's just to get rid of your pain, it's not going to get rid of your pain. Inflicting injury on somebody else will not get rid of your pain. So just remember that. Um, and if it does, 5 or 10 minutes, you're like, yeah, I got you back. But does that really settle your heart? And depending on who you are, like, does that lessen who you are? Is that the type of person you are to give somebody revenge? I'm not that type. I might have angry feelings, maybe some little fantasies of, haha, I got you back. But I look ahead, like, what's that going to bring to my life? Is that going to bring me closure? Is that going to bring me comfort? Hurting the other person, like, I still love them. Whether it was my ex who was terrible, um, is that going to help me in any way? You know, there are times we have to stand up for ourselves. Um, and they will come back so much harder on you. And I'm going to be honest with you in this channel. Like I said, I'm a goody two shoes for the most part. And I went to jail for 4 days. I did everything I could do to be the best parent. I drove across state so he could see the daughter. I worked around things. But I went to jail because he had called for his visitation. First time I ever grounded my daughter. I'm like, get upstairs. And he had called. She didn't even take one step upstairs yet. And I asked him, I said, can you just call back in a few minutes? Let her just get up to the room, sit for 5 minutes, because it's the first time I ever grounded her, and have her come down and take the phone call. So he was ticked off. I'm trying to be a good parent, you know, and I got slammed. We had 2 different counties across state, 2 different counties dealing with us. So I got slammed for denying him parenting time, even though he talked to her 40 minutes later, and 4 days in jail. 4 days in jail. 4 days in jail for saying, let me just be a good parent. You can still talk to her. So I got fined $100, plus I had to go to jail, and you have to pay for your stay there. So it cost me quite a bit of money just trying to be a good parent. And I let him talk to her. Just trying to work with the parent. 40 minutes. You couldn't wait 40 minutes. And to file a police report on that stuff or a court case, they'll come back at you. You upset them. You don't do things the way you should. That's a pretty hard price to pay. When I even just said, please just call back. I'm just grounding her 5 minutes. Let her go sit in a room, come down. So be careful when you expose them. Sometimes it's not worth the price, you know? And I look back, like, should I have let her just talk to her dad? But then you're also teaching the kid, you know, it's okay to get away with things. And, you know, it's kind of mind blowing how hard they will come at you. 59 police reports just to smear me. And none of them were true. He's like, you're hopping in my car. And I'm like, if I'm hopping in your car, how did I get out? If I'm going to be the stubborn woman, like, I never did that. There was another police report. My mom was like asking my sister, what did Cindy do wrong? And my sister's like, I don't even know. Police report after police report, because then the state pays for it. Like, they're con artists. And exposing them, like I said, I needed to say a couple things at court, but because he was a state trooper, like, for one, they're already going to believe him. Women are a little bit usually more emotional. I'm the frustrated one. He's got all the cards in his hand. So I'm going to come across kind of crazy. Like, why is she so emotional? Why does she feel she has to defend herself? And that's the other thing too. People are always like, if you weren't in the wrong, why are you defending yourself? It's like, because I need to. But if you're defending yourself to family, unless they understand, exposing the narcissist can be very dangerous. Very dangerous. Just like the most dangerous time in a breakup is during when you leave. If it's a violent relationship, be careful how you leave. And there's just so many things to take into account. But the reasoning, if it's a court case, yeah, I should have said something. But if I was just ticked off, I don't need to defend myself to everybody. You know, sometimes we want empathy, we want emotional support, we want to kind of spew all our feelings. to whether it's our best friend, our new lover, our parents, whoever we want to talk to. But it's going to go in one ear and out the other. So you can expose them, say, they did all this stuff to me. They did all this stuff. This is how I feel. And they're going to be like, why did you stay? They don't understand the trauma bond. They don't understand the love bombing on how amazing we know it can be. They don't know how we were kept off kilter for so long that, okay, things are getting better. No, they're not. Things are getting better. There's future faking. We believed in it. Now let's try again. They don't see the effort that we put in. They don't see how deep we felt. And we, in my eyes, felt deeper than your stable relationship because of that trauma bond. And exposing your narcissist can be very dangerous. And they're going to laugh at us. They're going to get a kick out of it. And it just gives them power, gives them fuel. They're going to come back 100 times worse. And what does it serve? So you can try to hurt them, but remember, they don't care. So how is that going to hurt them? If that's your purpose, is to hurt them or to get them to say something, they're not going to go like, sweetie, I get it. I totally understand. Let's talk about it. This is why I did it. I'm sorry I hurt you. They're not going to do it. They are not going to do it. So just something to think about. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Hope that helped.